Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday morning to you all. Hope you guys are waking up and feeling good out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day. And I hope everyone has had a great weekend out there so far. We got a lot to talk about in this morning's video, and it seems like that's been the common thing I've said at the beginning of every video. There's just multiple small to medium things to speak on. Nothing too crazy, but we do want to speak on it all. And the first thing we'll talk about is a little snow event that's going to make its way across some of the same similar areas that it made its way over yesterday. And this is going to make its way over those areas. And then this could move a little bit further south as we approach tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. And I am talking about a little bit of snow for areas pretty far south. I mean, I could see us getting a little snow into northern Alabama, maybe northern Georgia, and then east of the Alps into the Carolinas, east of the mountains. So we're going to speak on this. I'm not talking about a snowstorm or anything like that, but this is something we definitely need to watch, and I'm certainly excited about the possibility for my friends here in the Carolinas and anywhere in the South. So we'll speak on that right off the dot. After we get done discussing that, we'll talk about the pattern going forward, more below average temperatures. Will pretty much dominate the eastern half of the country as we get even into this coming weekend. It'll be cold this week, but it'll get cold again as we get even in the 6 to 10 day range. So we'll speak on that. We'll look for a storm signal. Is there one? We'll kind of give you some revised information on that. And then we'll round the video off by speaking on what's going to happen weather-wise across the entire lower 48 for your Sunday. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. I'm a couple days behind on comments. Just been resting up. I know I got to go back to work tomorrow. So just haven't been on the computer a whole lot besides making these videos. But I will get caught up with all the comments and prayer requests sometime over the next 24 hours. So let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So let's start out by talking about another light snow event. And like I said, it's going to rumble over some of the same areas. So we're going to start this off. And anybody I leave off at the beginning of the video, like a little bit further north and northwest, I got you covered when we break down today's forecast, like the north central U.S., the upper Midwest. But we're going to start off in the Midwest first. We're going to start off around 6 p.m. Central Time this evening. I know it says 7, but this isn't Central Time. There's already some more snow kind of coming from the same area that it came from yesterday, except I think it was coming from areas a little bit further south, but same general direction. And we're going to get this in motion here if we can. Here we go. And we start to get into tonight. Look at the snow coming out of Iowa, and then here it comes. It's actually a little bit further north this time. And it's starting to snow again in northern Missouri. And then we start to get some more snow on top of the snow that's already on the ground. I don't know if you were watching football yesterday. I'm sure a lot of people were. But the Arkansas-Missouri game was pretty wild, just seeing those crazy snow drifts off the field. But we're going to get more snow. I don't think it's going to melt much today. And here it comes late tonight into the wee hours of the morning, Monday morning. It's snowing again in Columbia, Missouri, snowing all the way down to St. Louis. One surprise place that got a lot more snow than I think a lot of people thought was outside of Kansas City. I think I saw somebody reported like 4 inches of snow. I was not expecting that. But we keep this going, and we get all the way to tomorrow morning. Look, it's snowing once again in southern areas of Illinois, snowing in St. Louis. Snow begins to taper off in central Missouri tomorrow morning. And then it starts to snow again in areas of western Kentucky. Still some snow showers, snow flurries in Evansville, southern areas of Illinois. Snow's trying to make it all the way to the Boot Hill. And one thing I'm noticing about this is just a little bit further south, kind of in the middle of the event. So as we're getting into tomorrow, midday, lunchtime, early afternoon, look at this snow getting all the way down to Nashville. I think Nashville, Tennessee will get kind of a festive day tomorrow. I'm not talking about a snowstorm, but, Nashville right here in this area, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Paducah, Kentucky, some snow showers tomorrow. And, I mean, the latest HRR model, HRR model, another one will come out in about an hour and a half. But, man, this is getting snow all the way down here into the southern counties of Tennessee, and it eventually gets it all the way down to Florence, Huntsville, Alabama. We'll get a closer look at you guys here in a second, but we still just got scattered snow showers, snow flurries flying around tomorrow evening, and just a pattern that supports this because we're continuously having clippers flying around the backside of this trough. Now we kind of book it a little bit further to the east and show the rest of Tennessee, northern Alabama, North Georgia, etc. I do want to start off today. I mean, check out the snow showers. It will be adding some light to maybe even moderate snowfall accumulations in the higher elevations of Virginia, even West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee. This will last all the way till this evening, and then we start to get into tomorrow morning, kind of a lull period, if you will. And then look, more snow greeting your picture out to the west. There's that snow in Kentucky we just talked about. Snowing once again from Lexington Point south. Some snow showers, briefly heavy at times. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of cold air in place. I mean, and this is the middle of the day. And I mean, this is getting into December 2nd. And happy December, by the way. It's December 1st. But, you know, this is pretty cold air for December 2nd standards. I mean, cold enough to be snow in the middle of the day in Tennessee. Look at this snow flying around. And guys, the short range models do well with these clippers. So I am thinking that this is the real deal. I really am. And I think we could get a dusting out of this in areas pretty far south. And, you know, this starts to sneak all the way into northern Alabama, North Georgia tomorrow evening. Atlanta right here. It's snowing pretty good in Gatlinburg and just the higher elevations. I mean, even the lower elevations, the Cumberland Plateau getting snow. Look at the snow getting close to Hickory, Greensboro, Winston-Salem area. And this is when it gets interesting for my friends here in the Carolinas. And look at these snow showers getting all the way down to Birmingham. And this is when we're going to flip it to North and South Carolina. And we're probably going to lose. Yeah, we're going to have to flip it back to this and kind of speed up here in time. Look how the energy breaks containment. And I use the word containment because a lot of times these clippers dry up once they hit the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, etc. But this is such a strong clipper. It's trended into such a strong piece of energy that it gets the energy east of the mountains. And look, this is around 10 p.m. Monday night, tomorrow night. Look at the snow flying around in Charlotte. North of Charlotte, northeast of Charlotte. I mean, this is some snow showers getting all the way up to Raleigh. Look at the snow into South Carolina, Chesterfield, getting some snow. This is getting all the way to Fayetteville, and this is as far out as we get. Like I said, another HER model, HRRR model, comes out in about an hour, hour and a half. But what's interesting to me is even for the NAM, okay, I'm going to kind of go back a little bit further west. The NAM shows this too. It's actually even more aggressive. We get into tomorrow afternoon. And look at I mean, this is just a big chunk of snow dropping down from the north, snowing like crazy in Nashville tomorrow afternoon. You know, I want to use the word like crazy, the words like crazy tentatively, but I mean, it's a big area of snow coming down. Southern Kentucky, it's snowing in Gatlinburg, it's snowing all the way down it's snowing in Knoxville, it's snowing in Chattanooga, it's snowing all the way down to the southern Cumberland Plateau, snow getting all the way to northern Alabama, northern Georgia. It's snowing pretty good. I could see several inches adding up in like the Smokies and just especially those higher elevated regions. And I mean, snowing, I would say it's a little bit further south on the NAM in Kentucky, but still snowing in all the southern counties who maybe missed out in this last event yesterday. It's snowing in southern Kentucky. This is definitely uptrended. Look at the snow flying around from my friends here in the Tri-Cities of Tennessee tomorrow evening. And then, you know, we'll switch it to the Carolinas here, and here it comes. Breaks containment and gets going from Charlotte, points north, northeast, and then look at it snowing in Fayetteville around midnight tomorrow night. Lumberton, maybe some snow down to Florence, and look at these flurries making it all the way to southeast North Carolina by the time we're getting to the wee hours of the morning, Tuesday morning. Interesting stuff. So what about snowfall accumulations? Well, if we'll back this up, and I just want to look at the HER model here. HER model going for maybe around an inch in Columbia, again, on top of the few inches you already got. Inch or two up here in northern Missouri, maybe a half an inch to an inch in St. Louis. You know, it likes the area between Columbia and St. Louis to get maybe an inch or two of snow. And listen, the National Weather Service is not really having huge totals with this. They're really not. But if you kind of compare this with let's go to the NAM. What is the NAM showing? I'm just going to kind of go back and forth here. We'll go forward here in time. The NAM a little bit more aggressive with this. Going for, an inch and a half or so in St. Louis, a little bit less in Columbia, but it likes this band right in here. Snow all the way down to Carbondale, Illinois. So, we switch this and we look at our friends here in Kentucky, Tennessee, surrounding states, and we're actually going to have to go this forward. This is for the little bit of snow that could be falling today, but if we go on and move this forward here, okay, this is over the next 48 hours. Look, Evansville, an inch of snow. 0.2 of an inch of snow in Nashville. Columbia, Tennessee, 0.2 of an inch of snow. Cookeville, half an inch. Knoxville not going for much of anything, but Johnson City, half an inch to an inch. Elizabethtown, 0.8 of an inch. That's enough to make the ground white. Guys, folks, usually anything between like a 1/4 inch to a half an inch is enough to at least make the ground white. I know it don't sound like a lot, but it is enough to put a glaze of whiteness on the ground, if you will. But, pretty wild stuff. And once again, we'll compare this up against what the NAM is showing. And guys, I'm just not going to show the National Weather Service forecast. I know some people might frown upon that, but I like what the mesoscale models are showing better. And, it's a little weird. It's kind of in just splotches on the NAM. But, going for a half an inch in Nashville, Clarksville, about an inch of snow. Paducah, half an inch to an inch. Knoxville, 0.3 of an inch. So, yeah, I mean, definitely a light event. Nothing to go crazy about, but it's like festive flakes, in my opinion. And then check it out. The HRRR model, and remember, this only goes 48 hours out, so this is not the length of the run. The HRRR model's dumping a good bit of snow in the higher elevations of Tennessee and North Carolina. The Smokies going for a half a foot of snow between both light events. Roan Mountain's going to get a few inches of snow. Boone's going to probably get a few inches of snow. But check it out. Once you get east of the mountains, Greensboro, her model's saying inch of snow. And I'm not saying that's a forecast, just something to watch. Charlotte, 1/10 of an inch of snow, just northeast of Charlotte, inch of snow. And then you compare this up against the NAM. And forgive me, but, pivotal weather is just a little finicky to use. So just bear with me. Just trying to show all the data for you folks. I know that this probably has some people excited. It doesn't look like it's going to get all the way down to my neck of the woods, unfortunately. But I'm excited about other people that have a shot to get it. And, I think that this is a little bit more reasonable. You're not going to probably like me saying this. Now, I don't know, about 15 inches of snow in the Smokies. That's pretty wild. But these dusting amounts right here in kind of central North Carolina, this is where most models have been really zooming in on, between Greensboro, Charlotte, Fayetteville, and Raleigh. It likes this area right here. But that doesn't mean other areas outside of this region can't get flurries. So I think this is very interesting. If you look at the National Weather Service forecast, they are really not buying this much. I don't think it's that they're not buying it. They just are not. They're staying conservative on snowfall totals, but they're not really showing much of anything. So this is an interesting little event, and I'm probably going to have another video on this maybe sometime this evening. It's going to be a very busy day for me, but I might have a video kind of this afternoon, just kind of specifically talking on this, see if we got any new data. But going forward, guys, I will tell you, it's going to remain cold in the east, still above average in the west. I do apologize for kind of leaving you guys hanging out west. There's just not a lot going on. And of course, a lot of my focus is always going to go to the eastern half of the country, and I really focus on the western half when there's some major events ongoing. There just really isn't right now. The eastern section of the country, in the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, this takes us from the 6th of December through the 10th. Well below average temperatures forecast for the northeast mid-Atlantic, and just below average temperatures forecast for the eastern half of the country. You compare that against the precipitation outlook, hey, a little bit of precipitation showing up. The Climate Prediction Center saying there's a 33 to 40% chance, 30 to 40% chance of precipitation being above average. So, you compare that up against the cold air, something to watch. But what are we actually seeing as far as temperatures? Well, this is the thing we're more confident in. And this is early this week. This is Tuesday morning. The greens, the blues, that's below average temperatures. Once you get into the blues, I mean, check it out down here, anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees below average. Kind of that purplish color, that's even more below average, 15 to 20 degrees below average. And, this kind of gets knocked down. I think we'll have a brief period of of it being a little bit more warm out there across the southeast, even the northeast. And then immediately as we're getting closer to the weekend, the end of this work week, well below average temperatures settle back in again. This is Friday, this is Saturday, another cold weekend. This is Sunday, and this is getting past the week time frame. Still below average temperatures hanging around. It does show a period of moderation, and then it shows the below average temperature settling back in again after the day 10 time frame. But of course, that gets very unreliable once we get really far out. Are we seeing any kind of big storm systems? Well, the system I talked about yesterday, the energy is still there, but the models have certainly backed off from it. But there's still energy flying around in that area. And we kind of move it past this little flurry snow shower event that we just broke down. And as we're getting into like Wednesday night and Thursday morning, big trough digs down. That's going to bring the reinforcing shot of cold air across the eastern U.S. And then, look at all the snow flying around. I think this is a chance for New York City, Boston, to get some snow showers. Just a lot of energy that's just a lower pressure flying around the Northeast. This is going to kind of revamp the lake effect snows. This event is close to doing something for the Southeast, but there's no real true connection between the cold air and the moisture. So it gets dry again into the weekend, and then here comes this huge aggressive clipper that yesterday was showing a big winter storm for the Southeast. There's just no connection. It's close. This is a big, big clipper, bringing a lot of snow across the Great Lakes region and then into the Northeast. And this is something to watch. There's no connection for the Southeast. It looks like a little bit of freezing rain, maybe in the pink here. But this is something to watch, especially for the Northeast for now, because this could turn into a bigger system. Look at the snow for southern New England. It could really get going into a bigger storm system for Atlantic Canada, Maine. We will watch that. Nothing to get hyper-focused on right now. And then here comes another clipper. Is there any kind of connection here? This is getting past the 1 week time frame, getting between that 7 to 10 day frame. And then there is some crazy winter storm around day 9 and day 10. That here it is, and then we're backing up the time frame more. But this is just an unreliable time frame. This is like day 9, day 10. Does show a huge winter storm for the Southeast, and no point in speaking heavily on that. I know it looks, if you're a winter weather fan, it does look really neat, but it'll probably disappear the next run. But the European model, but I will say this, there's energy really flying around in that day 5 to day 10 time frame. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just, is there any connection between the southern stream and northern stream? That northern stream will inject cold air into the southern stream. But we're getting to Friday, we're getting to Saturday. These clippers are not as aggressive on the Euro, but does show just a lot of energy flying around from the Northeast. And you get past that day 7 time frame, here's that big storm system, but it is much, much warmer on the European model. Much warmer. It's just a flat-out cutter. And then, we go past that, and it does bring some energy past the day 10 time frame, but just the Euro just flat out not very interesting winter weather-wise for the eastern half of the country besides clippers. So, one thing that I keep mentioning is northern stream and southern stream. And the thing is all this energy that you're seeing, that's from yesterday, all this energy that you keep seeing right in here, this is northern stream energy. Down here, that is southern stream energy. That's an S. So you look for some sort of connection between both here. And it's close right here. It almost looks like a connection, but, there's no connection. This is just a big chunk of northern stream energy, which is pretty much a clipper on steroids. And then we start to get this weekend. There's a little bit of connection of energy here, but there's just no full connection there. And there's just nothing really coming together. It's just a lot of northern stream energy, and the energy back here, like in Baja California, it just will not detach itself and eject into the fast flow. And that's another thing, is it's very hard to get things going when there's so much of a fast flow out here. And that is why we're just not getting some sort of early season winter storm for the eastern half of the country. We're just getting a lot of lake effect snow. We're getting a lot of clippers. There's just nothing significant, I would say. So that's a breakdown of all that. As far as today, there is the leftover energy that brought a swath of accumulating snow through Missouri and surrounding states. And, it continues to bring some energy all the way into eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia this morning. Let me know if you're seeing some flurries in the Delmarva area. Somebody reported some flurries flying around the Greenville, South Carolina area. Let me know if you live in that area and you saw that. It is cloudy at my house here in central South Carolina, so it tells me that there is some clouds around. It would be nice to squeeze out some flurries. I call that a win for the entire winter. But look at the lake effect snow is ongoing. And then here is our next clipper that's going to dive down and bring a shot at snow, a shot at snow for the south. Watch as warnings and advisories. Winter weather advisories are continuing for eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, a couple counties of Virginia. And I think we'll get more winter weather advisories issued later over the next 24 hours or so. And we got winter weather alerts up for the Great Lakes region. And then even though you don't see it, we got lake effect snow warnings up also for New York, PA, etc. So the lake effect snows continue up here, and they will continue probably for the foreseeable future. They might let up, but then they could get refired up again later this week with another shot of cold air. But the southeast today, we're going to continue to get these flurries in the mountains. I mean, if you're vacationing in the mountains, it's definitely going to be a cold day. It's been a cold last couple days, but definitely just steadily adding some snowpack up. It's a great start to ski season up here, even in the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. Because of all this cold air. I mean, you're getting a nice base going. But then as we're getting into tomorrow morning, we've already talked about this, but here comes this clipper diving down. But the Northeast today, lake effect snow is the big story. You see the lake effect snow ongoing off Erie, off Ontario. The orientation of kind of the directional flow of the lake effect snow will shift, though, today, this evening, really, and go more so from out the north to the south. And that means that areas that have not maybe seen as much snow will have an opportunity to see it. And we're going to extend this all the way out to tomorrow evening. And we could get some snow showers all the way down to Pittsburgh. So snowfall between now and the next 24 hours, going for almost another 2 feet in Watertown. Rochester will begin to get a little bit of snow. Areas of Buffalo got a lot of snow last night, especially just south. Syracuse could get some snow finally from this, 4 or 5 inches of snow. And then Jamestown, New York, maybe around a foot of snow is likely. But definitely going to get some more snow kind of off the southern extent, the southern areas of Lake Ontario now, as opposed just off the eastern side. And then we kind of dive down here and look at PA. Just bear with me. Pivotal weather can be a little bit slow, and it's being a little bit more snow than I would like it for it to be. All right, come on. All right, well, maybe we just won't get to see. Here we go. All right, yeah, here's a broad look at it. All right, so Erie, maybe another foot and a half of snow. Just east of Cleveland, several inches of snow. In fact, Cleveland can get a few to several inches of snow itself. But northwestern sections of PA, a few to several inches of snow. It just depends on how close you are to the lake. But, even the higher elevations of West Virginia, a few inches of snow today. You see it down here. So the south central U.S., you guys continue to be very quiet along with the western U.S. Not really anything to speak on. I hope you guys are faring well down here. There just has not been a lot of weather. Mary and all my friends down here tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving. Just nothing to speak on. But the north central U.S., lake effect snow, more so that north to south flow, though. Two things going on here. Clipper dumping some light snowfall accumulations across the Dakotas. And then this steady stream of heavy lake effect snow, doing that lake-to-lake connection from Lake Superior down to Lake Michigan. Even some connection to Lake Huron. But look at this snow drifting all the way down into the eastern and central sections of Iowa this evening into the overnight hours. And then, the lake effect snow north to south will continue. Just a straight north to south flow. It almost wants to tilt kind of north-northeast to south-southwest or southwest-south or south-south. You get what I'm saying. When that happens, that sometimes Detroit can even get, sometimes Chicago can even get a little bit of lake effect snow. It's not very common, but it definitely happens. Here's what this clipper will do for the Dakotas. A couple inches of snow, especially in central North Dakota down to eastern South Dakota. Not much, but just add a little bit of snow on the ground. And then for my friends up here in the UP and Michigan, this is when Marquette will add up their snow. Around 8 inches of snow over the next 48 hours. Just, if you see any movement behind me, that's a rocket moving around. But just east of Marquette, maybe a foot, foot and a half of snow. And then we book it on down to, hopefully we don't have any glitching up here. And then we book it on down to a lower Michigan, Traverse City, foot, foot and a half of snow likely. Grand Rapids, 2 inches. Kalamazoo, 3 to 4 inches of snow. But you're talking a little bit closer to the southeast sections of Lake Michigan. I mean, you guys can get 6 to 10 inches of snow from this. So out west, another area that I haven't spoke on much, but you guys continue to be quiet. A ridge is dominating your pattern, and it has really been uneventful out here for quite some time because of that. But temperatures, a little bit of a moderation in temperatures, might squeeze into the 60s. Still cold down in Florida for you guys. The standards swath of sub-freezing temperatures in the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, 50s. Just a cold day still. Locked in below freezing up here. You just abruptly went to winter up here for the north central U.S. And then out west, I mean, very, very cold. Much colder in the eastern plains of Montana compared to the western Rockies in Montana, with cold air trapped sort of east of the Rockies. But very cold up here, warmer down here, and that's all I got. God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful day. And I might have a little video sometime this afternoon or either later this evening and give you guys kind of a special update on this light snow event that could make it pretty far south. God bless. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon.